new podcast from St Michael and All Angels Parish Church in Bramall called Around the Table. My name's Calum.
And I'm Jenny.
And we both work here at St Michael's. I'm the vicar of St Michael's, and Jenny is our children's worker. And we're really excited for this new venture of a podcast. As a church, we adopted a new vision last year, which is taking us up to 2030. And one of the strands of that vision is we want to help people become confident in talking about what they believe. And so as Christians, we want to help people explore what Christianity is about, explore their own faith, and create a place in which people can ask questions. And that's what we hope this podcast is going to become. During lockdown, my wife and I, we did a series a little bit like this called In Conversation, where we just wanted to talk to people other than ourselves. So we invited people into a conversation via YouTube, and I'm delighted to have Jenny, our children's worker here at St Michael's, joining me for this new podcast. So we're going to be having conversations, and hopefully you're going to join in with us via all the online stuff. You've been part of our church for maybe 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, I would say sort of actively for 4 or 5 years, but I would say St Michael's has always been my church. So I was baptised here myself as a baby, confirmed, and then got married here, and then I moved about a bit. I wasn't always the children's worker, so I went off to vet school in Nottingham, and I was a practising small animal vet for a few years, and we moved around a bit.
So you didn't do like farm animals then?
No, I was just the small animals, but yeah.
And did you get a choice of whether you did small animals?
Yeah, so at vet school you kind of learn it all.
Okay.
And then afterwards you kind of choose, and some people choose to go into mixed practice, and that means doing a bit of everything. But for me, no, I just went into small animal practice. And
do you have to learn about humans as well to be a vet? You don't.
You don't have to
you just have to worry about animals.
No, that's it. I think there's enough species to be going on with without having a go at humans as well. But and do you know what? While I enjoyed it, at the same time there were challenges there, and it became quite apparent to me that it wasn't really for me. And I think the trouble with doing a big course like veterinary is you spend 5 years of your life doing that, and then it can be hard to say, oh, actually, I want to do something else. But as it happens, then I had my children, and then of course the pandemic hit.
Yes.
And during that time, I just decided that actually.
So you looked at exploring teaching.
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, for a time.
And then you relaunched our toddler group post-pandemic.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Which was great.
Yeah, no, it's great. So we run Active Angels on a Tuesday morning during term time, and that's such a joy. We've got at least 100 people come every week, and it's often the same people coming back each week. So, that's really sociable, lovely.
And then on top of toddler group, you run our Sunday kids groups.
And
you do school assemblies and host school visits.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. So.
So that's been really good. And they say not to work with animals or kids, and I've done it both. So very well. Yeah.
Great. So you've really become part of the church family, as the rest of your family, which is a real joy. So hopefully Jenny will bring some of her experience as a vet, as a mum, as someone that's interested in helping children grow in faith to our podcast. And you'll tell that I'm not in uniform, but
down day today.
I've been at St Michael's since 2017, and my passion is just helping people explore Jesus and Christianity, and what does it mean, and can it make a difference to people's lives? And hopefully that's what this podcast is going to do.
Hopefully. I mean, did you always want to be a vicar, or is this something
in
you
truth,
just stumbled into?
In truth, when I was a kid, I wanted to either be in the forces, or then maybe to be a lawyer that had a nice car, a nice house, and lots of money. And I meet lawyers now, and they're like, it's not like that at all. But I think it was just, in the end, God said that this is what I want you to do. And when I was baptised, I made the promise to follow Jesus wherever he takes me. And so that's where I am. This is where I am. That probably sounds a bit cheesy and doesn't make a lot of sense, but I love my job. Every day is different. And I love that. Some people love a routine that's the same every day, and I love getting up and going, okay, this is going to be a bit of an interesting day.
Definitely. Cool.
So our podcast, we're kind of splitting it. We're going to be running 10 episodes. This is episode number 1, and then we'll have a break. And our 10 episodes are going to kind of be split into 3 different themes, aren't we, Jenny?
Yeah, absolutely. So our first theme then, we're going to be looking at meeting people. So that's both people within the church. We're going to introduce a few of our staff members so you can get to know us a little. But also we're going to have some external people coming in for us to meet. We're going to have a personal trainer. Also we're getting a politician coming in. So that should be interesting. Just to see how faith fits in with their lives, with their careers. Does it fit in at all? Or, just sort of pose those questions to them, really, and try and provoke a bit of conversation with them.
Yeah, definitely. And the second kind of theme is we're going to be exploring some big questions, because there are plenty of big questions out there, and kind of how does the Christian faith interact with those questions? And sometimes we don't want to talk about those subjects.
Yeah.
Sometimes actually we know where we stand on those subjects, so there's no point wasting any time. And so we just maybe want to, through our podcast, begin a conversation about some of those questions.
Yeah.
So looking at, can God and politics mix?
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
They always say never talk about religion or politics in a conversation, and we're going to try and do both.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
And maybe begin to explore a conversation around, well, what happens when we die? Death happens to all of us. We don't like talking about death. I'm sure everyone has their own experiences of how death has affected them through loved ones and so on. But we don't often talk about, well, is there life after death? What happens when we die? So that's certainly one of the other big questions I think we're going to explore, or begin to explore anyway. That might be a multiple faceted conversation.
You know, and everyone's going to have different opinions on these matters, and it would be good actually if you want to engage with us, if you've got anything to add or any questions to ask of us, please just comment on the videos or get in touch with us. It'd be good to...
be great to get some form of kind of discussion going. So maybe that kind of, we do an episode 11 where we just bring some of the comments and questions that we've either seen on the feeds or that you've emailed us, and we just talk about them or just cry over all the abuse that we've had.
That's also a possibility, that's true.
But
and then so obviously we're going to be meeting people, we're going to be talking about big questions, but also we're going to be introducing our core values as a church, which you introduced when you first arrived, I think.
So I think one of the things I've always done when I've joined an organisation is try to understand who they are and what they mean by themselves, I guess. So in 2018 we kind of communicated that through three core values: community, inclusion and discipleship. So we're going to spend an episode on each one of those and say, well, what does St Michael's mean when it says we're a place that values community? What do we mean by inclusion? It's a buzzword in society, but it's also quite a divisive word. So having it as a core value, that's quite interesting. So what do we mean by inclusion? And then discipleship. It's a massively churchy word.
It is so
churchy. And
churchy.
even people in church probably don't understand it sometimes. So what do we mean by discipleship? And how does that affect our life together? So those are the three kind of themes: meeting people, core values, and big questions. And hopefully that will give us quite a broad topic to talk about over the next 10 weeks.
Definitely, it's going to open up some conversation, hopefully, and also hopefully just reach people that we might not get to speak to normally. I mean, church doesn't just happen on a Sunday morning, actually, and it's quite nice. This podcast you can watch any time. We will be on Mondays at 7 o'clock.
So we'll be launching each week, Monday 7 p.m, but you can catch up and watch it at any point throughout the week.
And hopefully it'll be just a good way of reaching out and connecting with you guys.
So I think one disclaimer. Jenny is a part-time children's worker at St Michael's. I'm the full-time vicar, and neither of us have any media training or kind of tech training or anything like that. So we're going to try and deliver something that looks flawless and looks really, really good, but equally we're both amateurs. So this could all go horribly wrong, and we won't tell you how many times we've tried filming this episode. So do bear with us if something's not quite right, or something just looks a little annoying, or the sound isn't quite right. We will try and get there. But equally, if you want to get involved, either directing us or helping us shape some of the conversations, or even you're someone in media and you'd love to come and control all the tech, just get in touch. We'd love to hear from you and love to get you involved.
Absolutely.
So that is episode 1 done.
It is. Exciting.
So next week, moving on, and I think we're meeting our first guest next week.
Yes, that's right.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
So thanks for listening, and look out for us next week, Monday 7 o'clock.
Take care. See you then.